couple of interesting games out there. You got the Alabama-Arkansas game in conference. If you're into Missouri versus Auburn, I guess you could like that game as well. But as they say in the SEC, it just means more. Later on in the show, we're going to have my buddy Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South on the show. He has a column defending the SEC and their schedule, and a couple of points that he brings up in this one. The SEC has more top 25 teams than anyone else, so by virtue of that, that means they're playing each other, so you're having harder matchups. Their road record against Power 5 schools is 6-5. The Big Ten, though, is 8-5. To kind of give it a deeper look, though, ACC 5-11, Big 12 4-4. Obviously worse than the Big Ten and the SEC. But if you compare the SEC and the Big Ten, they are similar. Remember, the SEC is 6-5 in non-conference games, but that team's record is 31-29 that they take on. Big Ten gets fat on a 39-41 record. The bottom line is the SEC has earned the right for one game or two for a cupcake, right? And even the Big Ten as well. There's a gauntlet of games each week in the SEC, a little breather before the rivalry week. And with that, we're going to discuss that and much, much more with my buddy Olin Buchanan here during the Go Hour. Good morning to you, OB.
Good morning. Trivia question for you. You mentioned Tennessee State. You know what former Houston football star is the head coach at Tennessee State?
Eddie George.
Eddie George. Very good.
Is that right? All right.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
thought so. Yeah, I was trying to jog my memory a little bit.
I used to do a podcast with him.
How was that?
It was great.
Yeah.
Real nice guy.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah, big dude. Real nice guy. A lot of times wasn't particularly prepared. And so we would discuss things off before we got started.
I've learned that about sometimes former stars that get into the media. They just talk. They get information before and they go with that. So what do you think about that, though? The fact that the SEC has these games right before, bowl season, right before the last week of the season. Does it matter to you? Do you care?
I don't like it, but I really don't care. I mean, I would, if they're going to play that game, I personally prefer they played it in September. You don't want to play these really meaningful games and all of a sudden you're in a week where nothing's going on. It doesn't really matter, but I understand why they do it because they play national games early.
Mm-hmm.
So then you're going to have that week later in the year. And I think his point about playing a strong in-conference schedule, like I used to argue with people I know in the Big 12. They say, yeah, they play that game. I'd say, well, you play Kansas. Well, I guess can't even use that anymore.
Can't use that.
Because I was arguing with guys out of Austin. But the point is, normally, I mean, what's the difference if you know it's a blowout win? What's the difference if it's a FCS school or Kansas? In fact, if it's if it's an FCS school, I kind of give everybody a pass to do one because those FCS schools need it.
Yeah.
And if you're playing somebody in your state as an FCS, you're helping their program. So I don't really have a problem with that. I just don't. You just won. You just won 4 in a row and then lost a heartbreaker to Ole Miss, and so you want to get right back on the horse and see if you. But no, wait, you got to play Prairie View. So I just, I don't mind that easy game. I just don't like that it's, when it's scheduled.
The part that I like about it is, all right, a win at the end of the season to get fat on, right? So yes, you could have it early on, but you're trying to figure out when you have that rough schedule and you have something you can kind of count on as a W towards the end. It makes the season, the win streak perhaps, feel a little bit better as opposed to everything early and then nothing late. From that perspective, I don't mind it. I do wish all the games towards the end meant more. I do. But I get it. I mean, the SEC, you're taking on the not the Vandy's of the world, but usually you're taking on a legit team every single weekend.
You are, and that's what comes from playing in a conference. What I think is, like the Big Ten, they get all their – now they played 9 conference games, I believe, but they get all their easy games out of the way against they always like to play the MAC. But to me, it's like an 8-track tape. You remember the old 8-track tapes?
Of course I do, yeah.
So you're grooving, right? You're into it. You got your your conference going. It's just that's the song. And then you get here and it's got to switch tracks. So it's an interruption. And then it picks back up again.
Okay, so it picks back up like a cassette tape as well. You get to the very end of the first side. All right, there goes Survivor and Eye of the Tiger. We got to go to the next side to hear the rest of the Rocky album.
Rest of it, yeah.
Great movies, by the way. Hey, I do want to bring this up before we say hello to the world. There is a sportscaster out of New Orleans, Fletcher Mackel. Heard of him?
No.
Me neither.
Fletcher Mackel.
Great name, quality name. He says, and this is why social media, like it depends what hat you put on, right? Like journalist hat versus guesser. And here he says, just a hunch here. LSU's interest helped Mel Tucker and Jimbo Fisher get massive new deals, upgrades at Michigan State and Texas A&M. I don't think Lincoln Riley leaves OU. My bet is after several swings and misses, Scott Woodward hires Bill O'Brien as the Tigers' next head coach. To that I say, don't think that's the kind of guy Scott Woodward would go after.
I think that would be a tremendous hire for LSU. In fact, I completely endorse it.
I think we should start a thing like social media campaign. We got to get Bill back in taking on Texas schools here often as a head coach.
Bill O'Brien is LSU.
He's everything. Like when I see him in that purple. I see him in that gold.
I want to.
Is it purple and gold or purple and yellow?
Purple and gold.
Okay. I want to see it.
Bill and Mike, get them together.
Am I right in thinking that seems so much like a University of Texas move, getting your fourth or fifth offensive coordinator option as your head coach, as opposed to what Scott usually does is, he swings big.
Well, if you put it that way, well, isn't that just kind of what happened to Texas last year?
Right.
So yeah. And then maybe LSU can lose to Kansas.
That would be great. Or Vandy.
Yeah. Please, Scott, that would be a great move. We completely endorse it. Hire Bill O'Brien.
I hope that dude is right. Whatever Mackerel. What's his name again?
Mackel.
Fletcher Mackel. It's a good name.
I hope Fletcher's connected and knows what he's talking about.
He's friends with Chevy Chase. All right, here's the question of the day. Who will be the Aggies player of the game versus Prairie View? Typically, I do headlines on Friday. I think we don't need to do headlines today versus PV. Just tell me who you think is going to shine. You can do that multiple ways. You can call the BCSI hotline, 979-693-1150, or you can text the A&B text line, 979-693-1150, A&B, a College Station branch of the Amarillo National Bank, Good Texas Banking. The website is amb.com. On the agenda for the show, Connor O'Gara at 9:05. Jamie McCoy at 9:35. Good old buddy Logan Lee will be here in studio. In between those two interviews, and then 10 o'clock hour, the final countdown, Billy and Seth will be here, or Billy will connect with us. Seth will be here in studio. So it should be a great hour or 3 hours of phenomenal radio. All right, let's go around and say hello to our friends. Dalton Hughes, good morning to you.
Oh, good morning. Happy Friday. Yeah, if you're making me pick a player, Olin wrote about it earlier this week. I think I'll just go DeMarvin Leal. Play a couple quarters, make a few big plays, and your Kyle Field swan song.
Yeah, it's going to be the swan song for a lot of Aggie legends, right? I mean, Spiller probably, Kenyon Green probably, DeMarvin probably. I mean, there's some big names right there.
I would suspect all three of those, as well as Jalen Weidemeyer probably in their last home
Another
game.
legend, yep.
I do wonder about Anias Smith. Could be, but I have questions about whether he would come back for another year.
He hasn't had a bad year.
No.
But he hasn't had the year that I think consistently throughout the entire season that I think we expected.
Well, again, the change in quarterbacks was a big part of that.
Yep.
He has an older brother that's played in the NFL,
Mm-hmm.
and I wonder what his older brother would advise him to do.
So
I will ask him that the next time we have an opportunity to talk to him.
I'm looking at his stats on the year: 40 receptions, 468 yards, 6 touchdowns. Certainly not bad. I'm trying to find his rushing stats; they're not popping up for me. I'll get those here in a moment. But he I don't remind me, he wasn't used as much in the run game as he was last year.
No, and he had that amazing punt return against South Carolina. He's an excellent player. He's going to play in the NFL.
Yep.
I just wonder if he's going to be one of those guys that can say, My brother's probably going to tell me, yeah, it's a lot different. You know, everything's different. Okay, he's going to warn me. Understand what you're getting into. You're probably not. Yeah, I'm guessing. You're a third-round draft pick. I'm guessing.
Yep.
I don't know. But what if you came back and had a sensational year? Do you have a chance to get up to the
second
first,
or end the first? Yeah. So I'm looking at these numbers right
and
here.
You got NIL to kind of boost you if you do.
So this year, 40 receptions, 468 yards. Last year, 43 receptions, 564 yards. So from a receiving standpoint, he's on track for what he did. He'll have more.
He's a very consistent guy.
Last year, though, he rushed the ball almost 50 times, 49 times for 293 yards. This year, he's only rushed the ball 7 times.
Well, that A-chain guy's kind of cut into his carries.
Yep. And then punt returns, 22 this year as opposed to 15 last year. Good times.
He's one of those guys that he's going to, like I said, probably be a third or even fourth round pick, depending on how fast he is.
Mm-hmm.
If he proves to be a lot faster than we think, then maybe more. But he's going to be one of those guys that if you're not paying attention, you're going to say, Anais Smith, okay. And then, 2 or 3 years from now, you're going to be so glad he's on your team.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with you. But NIL really makes it possible for him to come back. Having a brother who played in the league and having NIL, a little bit more knowledge of the league from a family member / opportunities to make and cash out on your name next year as being one of the big dogs. He is one of the big dogs now, but I think he'd have a higher platform next year.
But all that really matters is what he wants to do.
Yep, absolutely. We're being selfish here. Whatever he wants to do is the best thing. I'm thinking A&M. He should be thinking about his future and what's going to maximize his earning potential in his professional career.
But, Bobby Brown last year, he went into the NFL draft and was like a fourth-round pick.
Right.
If he had come back, he might have been able to work his way into the second or first round.
Absolutely.
But I think his mom had some health issues and he needed some money. Well,
and NIL hadn't happened
Had
yet.
there been an NIL, maybe he would have stayed a year to work his way into the first round. And I think that's one of the big differences and why you'll see more guys decide to come back and try to boost their draft stock instead of just going in, because you can still make some money.
You can make some money, absolutely. Let's go to the News and Social Center. Tori Esprovoa. Good morning to you, Tori.
Good morning, you guys. How y'all doing today?
Yeah,
There you go. Hey, it's Friday. Can't complain. I got a couple headlines to get into today. I have Texas A&M women's basketball team trumped over at Stephen F. Austin 82-75 last night. It's Thursday night inside Reed Arena behind Kayla Wells' 24-point outburst. And then I have number 4, Texas A&M equestrian team outperformed number 2 Auburn 10-6 to continue their 5-meet winning streak last night. And then I have a text to get into. Ag Engineer 12 saying, Spiller, Weidemeyer, Liao, O'Neal, Hansford, Peavy, and Clemens, it's their last game at Kyle, and I think they all will tear the roof off on this one.
Let's hope so, Tori. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And by the way, Gary Blair taking on his old team yesterday, SFA, so props to him. Having a lot of friends and family and former teammates there in attendance at Reed Arena. Congratulations to Coach Blair in his final season at A&M. Right now, he was probably smiling. I don't know if he ever had braces, but great smile right there. But if he needed them, I'd tell him to go to Dr. Troy Elms and Dr. Jeremy Stewart. They're off the bypass in College Station. No matter what stage you are in your life or your kids, right? Like you could be a 40-year-old man who, wants to fix a smile. Your wife perhaps wants to. Your kids. My kids are all in that phase. The twins already got it. The girls at some point are going to need that in the next couple of years, and I know who I'm going to trust. That's Dr. Jeremy Stewart and Dr. Troy Elms. They are just so good. They've been in this area for a long time. Dr. Troy Elms, class of 86, does amazing work. Dr. Jeremy Stewart, class of 03. Invisalign, braces, customer service, you name it, you get that there. 1501 Emerald Parkway in College Station. Call up Elms Orthodontics, 979-693-6300, or learn more online at drelms.com.
This is the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
'Tis time once again to set thy spirit free. Join Bud Light in a toast to the 47th Texas Renaissance Festival. Huzzah! Now now open weekends through November. A land of magic and merriment, chivalry and romance, artisans and wares from distant lands, deliciously enticing food, games of skill and chance, plus the finest actors and musicians in the realm. The King and Queen await your arrival. Tickets available at texrenfest.com.
Howdy, Ags. This is Dr. Krishna Shanmugam from BCS Eye Associates. I'm a fellowship-trained cornea and glaucoma specialist and eye surgeon, but most importantly, fighting Texas Aggie class of 2007. I was born in Aggie, raised in Aggie, and now back in the Brazos Valley to serve Aggieland, the incredible place that made me the person that I am today. We're the only fellowship-trained glaucoma, cornea, and cataract surgeon in town, and would be delighted to take care of you locally for your eye exam and your eye surgery needs. Give us a call to schedule an appointment today with Dr. K at BCS Eye Associates at 979-701-2020 or visit mybcsi.com.
For nearly 2 decades, TexAgs has been the #1 Aggie sports group online, and thanks to that passionate community, we've been able to grow it into so much more. TexAgs is now an industry-leading media company that covers Aggie football, basketball, baseball, and recruiting like nobody else. Our staff of over 30 consistently delivers in-depth analysis, X's and O's, award-winning video content, and the most reliable inside information you can find. So if you love the Ags, come check us out. Become a premium subscriber at texags.com/subscribe.
Howdy, y'all. This is Cullen Gillespie, former 12th man. I've always tried to help my team on and off the field. Now I'd like to help Texas A&M fans like you cut their electricity bills in half. Yep, in half. It takes less than 5 minutes and you'll save hundreds. .com and use code GILLY, G-I-L-L-Y, for a free month of service.
Aggie football is here, and Texas A&M Transportation Services offers parking and shuttle options. Pay $25 cash to park near Bush Library, Bonfire Memorial, or Agronomy Road. Ride the free Downtown Bryan shuttle. For pre- and post-game traffic and parking info, or to purchase parking before the game, visit Destination Aggieland within the TAMU app, download the Park Mobile app, or visit transport.tamu.edu/football.
For those parking with an annual permit, be ready to show us your permit barcode printed on paper or on your smartphone screen. Follow us on Twitter at GetToAggieGame.
You can listen to Aggie football, basketball, and baseball on your Amazon Dot or Echo. Step 1, say Alexa, enable Zone 1150 skill. Step 2, anytime you want to hear fighting Texas Aggie football, Texas A&M women's basketball, or Aggie baseball, all you have to do is say, Alexa, play Zone 1150. It's that simple to listen to your favorite A&M teams that play on the zone with your Amazon Dot or Echo. Make sure to say one time, Alexa, enable Zone 1150 skill. Then say, Alexa, play Zone 1150.
We're shaking it on, baby. Sing it,
Well,
OB. I see it.
It's kind of that, right?
Twist and shout.
Yeah.
Good song.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed. Playing a little music.
Yeah, it's, I was surprised.
We're trying something.
Okay.
Just a little experiment. I don't want YouTube to hear me, but we're doing a little experiment.
All right.
That's why I'm whispering. It is TexAgs Radio. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. We'll get to your text messages on the A&B text line. If you want to talk about this game, we have a question out there. You can call the BCSI hotline. Who's going to be the Aggie player of the game versus Prairie View? Love to get your thoughts on that and just where you are with things, right? We're heading into a cupcake game, if you will. And the season certainly feels different after the Ole Miss loss, but we've been here before. I'd like to hear what you guys are thinking. You can call us up 979-693-1150. All right, OB, it's time for a little Pick 6. And you're getting endorsed by Gabe Buck. He's texting the world, letting people know that OB is pulling away. This is something that I know late at night you think about. You study, spend hours on research because you're upset the way people have treated you.
Well, that's true. I mean, even a couple of weeks ago, Liucci was calling me poor picking Olin. He called me PPO.
PPO.
So, there's no respect. And then the McKinney brothers were disparaging me. They haven't learned to respect their elders.
Right.
So, from that standpoint, I'm glad I'm leading, but I also know that all it takes is one bad week. And then
this is the week.
Okay.
So a couple
probably
things.
Is.
I've made some mistakes over the last couple of weeks. I've helped you boost your record. There's 2 games that I've talked you out of what you were going to have that have both been wins, right? Mm-hmm. So you could have had 2 extra losses.
Could have.
Okay.
I'd still be in first place.
Also, I went away from what got me to second place because now I think I'm in fourth. What got me into second place was just going with my gut, not trying to strategize, not trying to all right, if I do this and OB does that, and if Billy does this, I can. No more. I'm just going with my gut, right? Because everybody knows here I'm the leading gambling expert here, and I'm going to go back to my basics. I'm going to give the points. I'm going to take away the points.
I always go with my gut because my gut has plenty to say.
The gambling expert that doesn't know how to pick a game against the spread. That one.
The one that was week 1.
Okay.
We're way past that now.
We got you learned up,
Mr. Vegas.
All I do is study the spreads, the overs, the unders. Whatever other thing can I say to make myself sound like I don't know what I'm talking about? Tell me something, Dalton. Go.
I don't know. What do you want?
I don't know. I'm moving on. Yeah. Let's get into the games. We're going to start off with Texas A&M and Prairie View, okay? 11 a.m. Why am I talking like that?
Because you're in radio voice?
Yeah. Hello. I'm David Nuno. Kyle Field, ESPN Plus. The Aggies are, this is a big number, by 45.5. OB, are you taking the Aggies or are you taking Prairie View?
I'm taking the Aggies.
They're going to win by 46 points?
Yeah.
Okay. Will they score 21 in the first quarter?
Maybe more. I mean, did you see Prairie View score against Incarnate Word?
No, I didn't see the score.
I think it was I may not be completely accurate on this, but I think it was 41-6.
Okay.
Sorry, Prairie View. I don't mean to be disrespectful. I'm not disparaging you, but Prairie View's very good in its division.
Sure.
But
not in the SEC.
If I was going to it'd be like saying, all right, I'm going to put North Zulch against College Station High School.
It'd be like Gabe fighting one of the McKinney brothers.
No, Prairie View would keep it closer than that.
It'd be like Richard versus Gabe.
Like Gabe fighting Meganbach. I mean, he's still he's still going to lose, but maybe he has a chance, but not really.
I'm moving on from this, and we're going to go to this game. So I'm picking the Aggies as well. OB. I'm going Aggies. I think they're going to win by more than, and I think they are going to score at least 21 in the first quarter. Our second game, another big spread. Number 21 Arkansas 7-3 at number 2 Alabama 9-1. Bryant-Denny Stadium at 2:30 p.m. and that is a CBS game. Bama favored by 20.5.
Yeah, I could see a 42-21 Alabama win. I'll take Alabama.
I'm taking Alabama as well. I'm making up no ground on you yet. Here's one that I think we might.
I respect that you're not just going against me just to, try to pick up ground.
That's what I did last week on a couple of occasions.
Oh, I didn't realize.
And I didn't know what you were going to do, but I guessed what you were going to do, and then you were the same, and then I talked you out of it, and then it helped you. But we'll move on.
True.
Here's what I think will be different. Florida, they're 5-5. They're 2-5. They've given up on the year. At Missouri, 5-5, 2-4, 3 o'clock. SEC Network, Florida favored by 8.5.
You know what? I'm going to take Florida.
Gosh, dog it, I am too. Stop. Do something different.
I don't know what you're going to take.
I'm taking Florida.
I'm taking Florida.
I'm taking Florida too.
Missouri's not very. Is Missouri's? I don't even know if Basilak is back or not. He missed the last game.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's back or
Tyler
not.
Tyler Beatty's pretty good.
Yeah. And the Florida defense isn't.
And that home field advantage. Oh wait, there isn't a home field advantage at Missouri. Never mind. Yeah, I'm taking Florida. Yeah.
Has it gotten that bad that they can't beat Missouri by 10?
They're going to win by 10.
I think so.
Well, this takes me to another underperforming team. Texas, they're 4-6. At West Virginia, also 4-6, 11 a.m. And this is West Virginia favored by 2.5 points. Game's on ESPN2.
I'm taking West Virginia.
Well, I'm taking Texas.
Okay.
And let me tell you why I'm taking Texas. 2 reasons. I've picked Texas a lot the last couple weeks, and they keep losing. Uh-huh. So at the end of the day, if I get this wrong, I'm winning.
So Bijan Robinson being out?
That's a huge out. Absolutely.
I think they lost their best corner.
Yep. Yeah, I still think
it's going to be cold.
They're going to find a way to win. But I'm going to pick Texas because at the end of the day, I'm going to win either way. If they lose and I lose this, fine. If they win, I make up some ground on you.
Well, this is the kind of game Texas would win.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to go with the Mountaineers. Get your couches ready to be burned.
Let me tell you right now how much I want them to lose this game. I would love to see them not bowl eligible. I'd like to see them finish at 4 and 8. All right, we move on to Oregon, the number 3 team in the country, 9-1, 6-1 in the Pac-12 at 23 Utah, 7-3. That game's at 6:30 on ABC. Utah is favored by 2.5 points.
Oh, it's only 2.5. Okay.
According to the Gabe notes.
Okay. I'll go with Oregon.
Gosh, dog it, I am too. Yeah.
But that's one I'm not at all confident in. I'm not sure Utah's not the better team there. Definitely tougher because I like Kyle Whittingham, and he's a hard-nosed coach. But I think Oregon has more talent, so I'll go with Oregon.
Okay, I'm going Oregon as well. And the last one. Number 7, Michigan State. They're 9-1, 6-1 in the Big Ten. At number 4, Ohio State. 9-1, 7-0 in the Big Ten. 11 a.m. from the Horseshoe, ABC broadcast. Ohio State favored by a big number, 18.5.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take the points on that one. I think I'll go with Michigan State and the points. Because if I lose 38-20, or if Michigan State, then I win.
Right. And
I think that Kenneth Walker will score some points. So, I'll go with Michigan State and give me all those points.
Yeah, I'm going with Michigan State as well. I think that's a huge number.
So we only have one wrong, one different this week.
The Texas game, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the way I look at it is I'm a winner.
Yeah.
I can't make up any ground on you, but I can put some separation between some other guys.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Do you like doing Christmas shopping?
Hate it.
I hate it too.
I detest it.
Yeah, I usually do it literally it's the 23rd, the 24th. My wife's birthday's the 23rd, and then Christmas, and it's just like, all right, Amazon, is it too late? Fine, I'll go to the Galleria and I'll buy something quick.
I would rather, of course, she won't accept this. I'd rather just hand $1,000 to Irma and say, here.
Oh, my budget's way lower than that.
Well, I'm saying that's what I'd rather do than shop.
Right.
But even if I did that, she would be like, no, you haven't put any thought about it.
You have to put some thought into it.
I say, I thought about giving you $1,000.
Imagine this, getting her something that you would like and that she would like, and then saving 20% and not telling her.
Okay.
Are you intrigued?
I'm listening.
If you're out
Go
there,
on.
If you're out there, Aggieland Outfitters is hooking up the TexAgs listeners, the subscribers, 20% off your entire purchase online. Just because I went into Fadi's office, I slammed the door and I go, listen, man, my people need a discount this Christmas season. And he's like, fine, but I don't know how long I'm going to go. And it was really awkward exchange between us. But I was like, you're going to do it now. He said, fine, but I'm going to take it away whenever I'm ready. It could be tomorrow. It could be after Black Friday. It could be Christmas Day. I don't know when he's going to take it away. So you better jump on this 20% off. All you have to do is put the online code TexAgs21. TexAgs21. You want some A&M gear? That's where you go. You want some other stuff? That's where you go. You want Peter Millar, like the expensive stuff? Go ahead. He has it all. Why am I talking like I'm upset? I'm not. TexAgs21 is the online code you need to put. Go to AggielandOutfitters.com literally right now. You can start your Christmas shopping ahead of time. Go do it. It is Aggieland Outfitters.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone. Do you need help with a Thanksgiving meal? Go online to uwbv.org/holiday assistance. It's the 38th annual Thanksgiving in the Brazos Valley, delivering free meals on Thanksgiving Day. Hospice Brazos Valley is offering 3 groups dedicated to assist adults grieving a loss. There is no cost to attend, but RSVP is required. Call 979-821-2266. There is a free class offered to seniors on healthy aging the first Wednesday of every month. Contact the Mature Well Lifestyle Club for more information. Support the Sexual Assault Resource Center through their Be a Light campaign by making a donation at sarcbv.org. Submit your nonprofit event by email to news@WTAW.com. Listen to your favorite shows, TexAgs, Louis Bellina, Chip, and Paul Feinbaum. Listen to your favorite teams, Texas A&M football, basketball, and baseball. Listen to them online at radioaggieland.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Holiday sparkle starts at Montelongo's Fine Jewelry. The Montelongo's Fine Jewelry family has been helping people select the perfect gift for over 30 years, and they want to be your jeweler this holiday season. Let Montelongo's help you find a dazzling gift from their incredible selection that's in stock and ready to be wrapped. Decide joy. Decide to give. Decide Montelongo's. Bring home a little sparkle with a gift from Montelongo's Fine Jewelry that's sure to make your loved one's Christmas shine. Visit their showroom on University Drive, and Merry Christmas from the Montelongo family to yours.
We have trucks, yes, at Tom White Chevy. Quick cash, we are buying cars even if you don't buy from us. All roads lead to Tom White Chevrolet in Bryan College Station. Chevy, find new roads. More details at tomlight.com.
Tom White Chevrolet, we're here for you every day.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
In McVay's time with Stafford, they must win a Super Bowl, yes. I don't say they have to do it this year. They have to win a playoff game this year for sure. Got to win a playoff game.
But if they just win a playoff game, you'll probably consider them still to be a failure, right? One playoff game, they got one playoff win. I think they have to win.
I agree with Max. At some point, while they together in the next 3 years, they got to win a Super Bowl.
They have to win the Super Bowl this year. There's no doubt about that.
And until then, I would say, to not say it's a disappointing season this year, 2 playoff wins.
Yeah, okay.
But you got to win one. You got to win one, or it's like, yo, you couldn't win a playoff game?
Get to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl with them because they went with Jared Goff. And they didn't win, but at least they went. So Matthew Stafford's got to do a lot of the same stuff that Jared Goff did, but the cherry on top is winning the Super Bowl.
Spend your mornings with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor. Mornings from 5 to 8 here on The Zone.
The OB playlist is back.
It's back.
Are you happy?
I am.
Just don't tell them. Don't tell them. We're trying a little thing. Dalton's going to get mad at me for even bringing it up. It is TexAgs Radio. We are presented by Dave Gardner's Jewelers. Appreciate everybody listening here this Friday morning. I see you there on YouTube. Hello, my peoples. Little chill, I see you. Thank you so much for watching and listening to the show. Our friends there on the CW as well. Hello, hello, hello. Let's get into it. 3 things we want to see in this game against Prairie View. If you want to be a part of the conversation, text the A&B text line 979-693-1150 or call the BCSI hotline 979-693-1150. So what are 3 things, my friend, that you want to see this weekend?
Well, first I would start with all the things that I didn't see last weekend.
Okay.
So I want to see a dominant running game. You know, I want to
a commitment to a dominant running game.
I want to see them blow guys off the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
And you know, guys running like they should. I want to see the passing game being sharp and no interceptions and all those kind of things. I want to see a very successful, sharp passing game. And I want to see the defense come out from the very beginning and control the game from the very beginning.
Yep.
So all the things that you didn't do well last week, you need to come out and do well this week because you worked on your deficiencies and you're working on it to get better for next week.
Yeah, I would love to see all 3 of those. Mine are similar but different. I want to see a scoring on a flawless first drive, all right? And I want this team to be up 21, 28 points at the end of first quarter. Take care of business. We know A&M is a much better team. Record will say it when they have a good start to a game. Have a great start. Let's go. Let's get up that first drive. Zach is feeling it. Wide receivers are doing it. They're running the ball great. Have a flawless first drive score and get a few more points there in the first quarter. I also want to see no penalties in the red zone, which to me will equate in the 7s and not 3s. Last couple of weeks, we've seen some mistakes there. Holding, going off sides. No more of that. Let's be mentally focused in the red zone. Flawless execution. Get 7s, not 3s. And the third thing I want to see, can we get some wide receivers to make some plays? You know, none of these easy drops that we've seen, wrestling the ball away, just wide receiver separation, wide receiver plays. They've got talent there, and we may see some youngsters play this weekend. Who wants the ball? Who wants to make a difference? I need to see the wide receivers getting some push and making some plays.
Okay. That kind of, like you said, kind of the same but different.
A little, yeah.
You're a little more detailed than I was.
Well, that's, it's like, what's the comparison I want to use here? You're good at comparisons. It's like sugar and salt. No, that's a terrible comparison. Never mind. We'll move on. You're looking at me confused, and I'm confused myself.
I like both, sugar and salt.
You just don't want them on the same food.
No.
Yeah.
Well, in some cases you do.
Sweet and sour?
No, you ever have some of that salted caramel?
I'm more of a normal caramel guy.
But the salted caramel does taste good.
It's not bad. It's not bad. It does bring it out. So yeah, if we can see some early scoring, and again, this needs to translate to LSU as well. But get me some early scoring, and a first drive where on first down, maybe you do throw on first down on the first play of the game. That's fine. You have your first 10 plays scripted, whatever it may be, 15 plays scripted. That's fine. But I want to see a commitment to the running game as well, because the problem I had with the Ole Miss game, while I understand that Ole Miss loaded the box and made it very difficult for A&M to run the ball, I don't care. I want to Stockton and Malone them. If I want to run the ball, we're going to run the ball. And then when we get 3-4 yards each carry, we may play action you and go deep. But there has to be a commitment to establishing the run game, and we do it because we're a better run team than anybody else, and I don't care if you put 8 guys up there.
Okay. And if you see all the things that you want to see, what does that tell you?
Nothing. What it tells me is, all right, because if you can't do those things against Prairie View, that'll tell me more.
Like I said earlier this week, the only thing that you can come out of this is really kind of negative.
But don't you think the vibe on this show after a victory is always better?
Well, it is, and especially if you don't win this one. But yeah, I mean, the vibe in town is better. Everything's better when they win. But that's why I say work on the things that you've got to do better, because you're going to have I know LSU's not playing well, but you're going to have a difficult time, when you go to Baton Rouge next week. So you got to work on the things you're not doing well to get better. So, and identifying things. I was rewatching the Ole Miss game, and you would see just before the snap, a lot of times the Ole Miss linebackers start to they line up in like a 3-man front, but just before the snap, their linebackers come in and make it a 5-man front. Mm-hmm. If you could just play action to a slanting tight end or something, that middle of the field where they were was going to be open.
Yeah. And I expect Prairie View to blitz, Zach. I expect them to do their best at making it difficult. But at the end of the day, you're a superior team. You need to do what you do.
But remember what the guy from New Mexico did. The defensive end from New Mexico that was constantly providing pressure. Do you remember that guy? I can't remember.
I do remember that guy. And he was a guy that we had talked about being a NFL player at some point.
Maybe. But, we didn't expect him to really go in and wreak some havoc. So you can't let that happen.
No, but I will say this is a different A&M team.
I'll agree.
From there. That team didn't know how to block yet. This team, I think, can block. And
that's fair.
And last week, they struggled getting push off the line to get the running game going, but I think they protected Zach pretty well.
Yeah, pretty well.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I understand why Zach doesn't run. He doesn't, if he gets hurt, you're down to nobody. But there was also some plays, if your quarterback would have scrambled, that might have opened up some things, because there were some scrambles to be made. But, you got a quarterback that's not 100%. He's got a brace on his leg, and he's almost been out of 2 games.
Yep.
And do you really want him running? And the answer to that is no.
Yeah, and here's another thing I'll say. Next season, those kind of plays, regardless who's at quarterback, if it is Zach, if it is Haynes, it is Connor, you can experiment more because you have more in the pipeline. You have other guys waiting. I mean, Zach has to be cautious, because he has been injured, and really – you're not ready to give the keys to Blake Boast. That is a huge reason he's got to be more conservative.
By the way, I think Blake Boast throws his first career touchdown pass this week.
Could have saved that for bank on it.
I will.
Is that going to be your bank on it? You'll come up with a new one?
I'll come up with something.
This is your prequel to the bank on it.
Yes.
You're saying Blake Bose is going to throw a touchdown pass.
Yes.
I hope so. Because when he has played the game, they're in run mode. They're like, let's just, end the game and move on. What was it? The South Carolina game that he came in was just, let's just run it out and call it a day.
Yeah, but I expect Blake probably comes into the game. I'm guessing. Okay, I'll save that for my bank on it.
I got a good bank on it.
Okay.
One that is going to be so obvious, you're like, you could do that every week, but I don't care. I'm banking on it.
It's your show.
Is it?
Yeah, it's your show.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. All right, so
what you want.
When we do come back, we will do a little bank on it. I got a name that I'm going to give you all, and we'll break that all down here on the show, and a couple text messages to get into. I'll do that on the next side of the break. But right now, I want to talk about Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell, online at caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. Hope to run into Zach Hester. He's at a lot of the home games, there on the sidelines pregame, saying hi to the people. He says hi to you when you visit him as well. Great place when you're trying to buy a vehicle. It is a stressful process because, now with online, you can kind of look and you're like comparing and this and that. How about this? I'll make it easy for you. CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. It's got a great selection. That's A. B, they have great deals. Okay, I like that. And C, it's a great process. Good people who aren't going to haggle you. At the end of the day, look, we can all search for the right price and we can look and here and there, and that has to be part of the process. But I want to go to a place where I trust the people I'm doing business with, and I want them to be good guys and people who are just going to shoot me straight. And that's what they do there at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. 15 minutes, Brian at Caldwell, short conversation away. But you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and you start doing business with Zach and the fellas there at Caldwell Country. Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell, online at caldwellcountrychevrolet.com.
Find out first, get scores, updates, and more. Follow the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM on Twitter. Zone 1150. You can hear the Paul Feinbaum Show weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone. Presented by Polaris Fun Center. Paul Feinbaum is SEC Country, and Aggieland is SEC Country too. Join Paul weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone. Polaris Fun Center, where you can get a $500 rebate on any 450 or 570 Model A TV, or $2,000 cash back on a Polaris XP1000. Polaris Fun Center, where they sell and service fun, not tractors. The voice of the SEC, and you can hear Paul Feinbaum weekdays from 2 to 4 on the Zone.
If you have a debit card, you're used to spending money. But what if your card actually ended up earning you money? That's not exactly normal, but that's what you can get at A&B. It's called Kasasa Cashback Checking. Don't mind the weird name. What you need to know is that it's a free account with cash rewards. Use your debit card for everyday purchases, and we'll pay you cash back every month. If that doesn't sound like normal banking, well, guess what? We're not a normal bank. So contact A&B today and ask for Kasasa or visit ANB.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our Aggie broadcast sponsors, Schulte Roofing, Prosperity Bank, Hargrove Insurance, and Rudy's Barbecue. Here's a big gig-em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Hey parents, when it comes to your child's education, there's a lot to consider. No matter what you're searching for, search the Bryan Broadcasting half-price tuition program first. We've partnered with schools and learning centers throughout the area to get your students started with high-quality programs at half price. Right now, we're featuring half-price tuitions at Hopewell Classical Day School, Kingsgate Christian School, Sunshine School, Kinder Music, and more. Half-price tuitions are first come, first served, and availability is limited. Go to halfpricebrazos.com.
Shop local, buy local, save big deals.
It's not every day you can save money. Oh, wait, you can. Hi, Jenny here from Big Deals. When you shop Big Deals, you'll save money every day on dozens of gift certificates from local businesses like these.
Howdy's Pizza, BCS Tire Pros, Cotton and Oak Home and Style, Cilantro Mexican Grill, and more. Visit AggielandBigDeals.com to save big. AggielandBigDeals.com.
On Sports Talk, Chip visits with comedian George Wallace about keeping a notepad beside his bed in case he has an idea about a joke.
But I did that at 3 o'clock in the morning, the top 5 exes in the world. That's
Yeah, that happens all the time. You wake up. Sometimes you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. You write a joke down, and you look at it the next day. And you can't read it. You go, "What the hell is this?"
Sports Talk will leave you laughing. Weekdays from 4 to 6 on the Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
We are TexAgs Radio. You, me, OB, everybody, Tori. It is presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Appreciate everybody joining us here on the program. A couple text messages we need to get into. But before we do that, it is now time to bank on it. Presented by Vera Bank, authentic relationship-based banking built for real life. Go see Joel Jackson and the team. Learn more online at verabank.com. All right. Olin Buchanan. I'm going straight full name now. Who are you banking on?
I'm banking on Blake Boast entering the game in the second possession of the third quarter.
Okay.
I think by then the outcome will be
in hand. Will they be up like 35-0 at that point or even more?
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised if it's even more.
Okay, good. I like the way you're talking to me.
Yeah. Because, again, we just talked about two different kinds of athletes. A&M has superior athletes.
They do. And does he throw deep on his first possession?
I don't know if he throws deep, but I think at some point he'll throw and he'll get his first touchdown pass.
All right.
Maybe two.
Blake Boast entering the game, second possession of the third quarter. They're up at this point. We're going to call it 42-0.
Something like that.
42-3 or nah? Are they is Prairie View going to be able to score in the first half at all?
I don't ever want to say no because you might throw a pass that deflects off a guy's hands and then they get really good field position and kick a field goal.
I'll say this. South Carolina had, 10 yards of total offense entering the fourth quarter? I expect that kind of defensive effort.
I do too.
Yeah, but I'm not banking on it. I'm banking on A-Chain scoring 3 touchdowns.
Could see that.
And
on 3 carries.
Potentially. And one of those touchdowns for sure will be 40-plus yards. For sure.
Oh, I think there's a 75-yarder just waiting to happen.
I need that to happen. I'm here for it. And he's going to touch the ball more than 12 times.
God, I hope so.
I'm thinking he's touching the ball. I think it may be a little different. Spiller may touch it 18.
Spiller's going to have a big game, by the way.
He should. It's his last game.
And he's also upset. I'm sure, I don't know, but I'm sure he's upset that he was not able to, make the big plays last week.
And I hope the offensive line is just as upset to open up those holes early.
I think so.
Yeah. So, but I'm banking on A-Chain where he's coming off a game where he was great, but underutilized, I think is a fair way to say it.
I think that absolutely is fair.
Right? And he's gonna carry it 20-plus times or 20 times. One of those at least 40 yards.
You think A-Chain's going to get 20 carries?
I'm banking on it.
Oh, wow.
Seems like a lot. I know.
You know who's going to get some carries? L.J. Johnson.
I hope so.
And the other kid, and I'm sorry I can't remember his name, the other kid from Miami.
Amari Daniels.
Yes, Amari Daniels. Because I knew it wasn't Yule Keith, but I couldn't,
I like both of those guys a lot. Yeah. Pipeline is pretty good.
2 years ago, A&M was having to move for the bowl game Anaya Smith to running back because they only had one running back.
Yeah.
Now, A&M has just a stable of stud horse running backs and more on the way.
And Alabama doesn't at the moment. Yeah.
That's awful.
And hey, you know what? We got to go to Tori here in a second, but do you kind of want to see Alabama continue to win now that A&M cannot get into the SEC championship game to make that victory even feel better at the end of the year?
Well, I don't think it's going to feel better to me. It felt so good anyway. But now it's to the point where, I kind of would rather them beat Arkansas because we're jockeying for bowl position.
Yep.
And so, Alabama's already in front of you. So don't let anybody else get in front of you. I don't want anything to throw a monkey wrench, Texas. I don't want anybody to throw a monkey wrench into my Florida bowl plans.
What about Ole Miss, Mississippi State at the end of the year?
Well, it would be best for A&M, I think, if Ole Miss won.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that I wouldn't pick Mississippi State, though.
That team. That's the game that I talked you out of, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I was okay. I'll go ahead and go with Mississippi State.
And it was looking great for me in the first
It
half.
was.
Looking great. I was celebrating.
But, Leach's teams have done that so many times.
Yeah, they have.
They did it in a bowl game with Minnesota. It was like, I think it was the Alamo Bowl.
Let's go to Tori Esprovoa, the news and the social center.
Yes.
Are you doing news or socialing?
We're going to do some socialing. I have a text real fast from iDoc Mark asking if we're going to have our TexAgs tailgate tomorrow. Yes, we are at 9 a.m. So
Your face, if your face could tell a story, what would it say?
It's early. I have to be here at 8 o'clock to help set up.
Oh, my
But
God.
hopefully I can talk Logan for us having some mimosas.
Matey. All right, what else?
I got Frio Ag saying that he has his money on Spiller for this game. He's a primary weapon, and he'll blow the open in the first 3 to 4 possessions. I'm going to say 100 to 150 yards and 3 touchdowns in the first half before we sit him.
Oh, that'd be great, too. I love that. It's awesome conversation. Any more?
That's it for right now.
All right, Tori. Appreciate you very, very much. OB was a fun week. It wasn't that fun because we were kind of sad for the first part, but it's going to be fun moving ahead.
I'm already looking forward to I look forward to every game, but I have to admit I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yep.
I'm doing all the things coaches tell you not to do.
Yep, we're looking ahead, but we don't play on the team, so we can do that. Connor O'Gara coming up at 9:05, Logan after that, and Jamie McCoy. It is a loaded 9 a.m. hour, then the final countdown to finish it all off with Seth McKinney and Billy Liucci. All right, guys, that'll do it for the first hour. We will see you guys in a bit on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
Hi, this is Jeff Vanderwood with Veribank. Veribank is continuing to grow in the Brazos Valley with a brand new full-service banking center on Highway 6 in front of Academy. We have a team of genuine bankers specializing in personal and business banking, wealth management, and investor real estate lending ready to serve you. Veribank is here to help you succeed financially, and you can bank on it.
Visit Verabank.com today. That's VERA Bank.com. Verabank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Our publications reach every corner of the Brazos Valley, and we want to partner with you in sharing your message with the community. You may recognize a few of our Bryan Broadcasting publications.
Best of the Brazos Valley.
Brazos Life, the annual manual.
Welcome home, Brazos Valley.
Brazos Family.
Brazos Wellness.
Brazos Valley Bride.
Peace, Brazos Christian Life.
With the combined power of 7 magazine titles, 11 radio stations, and digital solutions, Bryan Broadcasting Publications can help you be heard. Call 979-695-9595 to learn more.
Download podcast of your favorite shows, Louie, Chip, or TexAgs in the Pod Center at zone1150.com. Subscribe and have them downloaded daily for you in the Pod Center at zone1150.com. This is KZNE College Station Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on the zone. The number of active coronavirus cases reaches 200 for the first time this month. There's been a steady increase in active cases reported by the health district each day this week. A pandemic death has not been reported since last week. Read more at brazoshealth.org. A correction to the WTW story about American Lumber's plans to double its manufacturing space in the Bryan Industrial Park. That item was pulled from the city council meeting last week and was not considered or approved. A Bryan City spokesperson tells WTW News that negotiations are continuing and the deal terms will change from what was in the meeting agenda. Retiring College Station School Board members Amanda Green and Mike Nugent were recognized during this week's board meeting. Nugent, who is stepping down after spending the last year as board president, shared a story about a cancer patient he met who loved to eat out.
She always loved it when the meal was done and there was still a fork there because it told her that there was more coming, and it was dessert.
Nugent says the woman kept a fork visible in her home to remind her the best is yet to come. Then he gifted the board members forks of their own. The Salvation Army is recruiting volunteers to ring bells at Red Kettles this holiday season. Lieutenant Tim Israel says their goal is to fill 3,000 volunteer hours.
Right now, we've already got about 1,000 hours, so we're still desperately in need of about 2,000 more volunteer hours filled at those Red Kettle locations.
Israel says if a volunteer doesn't man the Red Kettle, the Salvation Army pays someone to do it.
We have to cover those spots so that we can bring in as much money as possible, but we'd much prefer to do that with a volunteer. I mean, the spirit of a volunteer is much better, as well as the income raised is much higher when it's a volunteer at those locations.
Sign up to volunteer online at salvationarmybcs.org. More news is at WTAW.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Shop local, buy local, save big deals.
It's not every day you can save money. Oh, wait, you can. Hi, Jenny here from Big Deals. When you shop Big Deals, you'll save money every day on dozens of gift certificates from local businesses like these.
Howdy's Pizza, BCS Tire Pros, Cotton and Oak Home and Style, Cilantro Mexican Grill, and more. Visit AggielandBigDeals.com to save big. AggielandBigDeals.com.
The flagship station for Aggie athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our Aggie broadcast sponsors, Schulte Roofing, Prosperity Bank, Hardgrove Insurance, and Rudy's Barbecue. Here's a big gig 'em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Zach Taylor with your Aggie Sports Minute on The Zone. This Sports Minute is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click HilcoSupply.com. Number 24, Texas A&M women's basketball was able to hold off SFA last night, 82-75. Senior Kayla Wells came up big once again, scoring 24 points. 16th ranked Aggie football is in action tomorrow as it takes on Prairie View A&M. That'll be senior day, and Coach Jimbo Fisher says it's been a special class, especially those super seniors who were already on campus when he arrived in 2018.
Coach, I know you didn't recruit me, but I'm going to buy into what you do when you come in here, and I'm going to help spread your message to build a culture of what you want to do, and I have the utmost respect for those guys, and that is a very, 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 very special group of guys to me.
The Aggies square off against Prairie View tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock with broadcast right here on The Zone. A sneak peek at the rest of the SEC brought to you by T-Mobile. Arkansas visits Alabama tomorrow while Florida meets up with Missouri. South Carolina entertains Auburn and Vanderbilt travels to Ole Miss. Georgia hosts Charleston Southern. Mississippi State takes on Tennessee State. Kentucky dukes it out with New Mexico, and LSU entertains Louisiana Monroe. And that's been your SEC sneak peek brought to you by T-Mobile, the official 5G sponsor of the SEC. And Aggie men's swimming sits in second place following day 2 of the Art Adamson Invitational. The women are also in second in the team standings. And that's been your Aggie Sports Minute brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Zach Taylor.
The best is yet to come in College Station.
2 seconds left. 28-yard attempt by Seth Small is down. It is up. And the fight, Texas Aggies take down the top-ranked Tide 41-38.
Join us Saturday. The Aggies host the Prairie View A&M Panthers. Our coverage begins at 10 a.m. on your home for Aggies football, the Texas A&M Sports Network.
Listen to Aggie football on The Zone, online at radioaggieland.com, or tell your smart speaker, play Zone 1150.
In the night, I hear him talk, the coldest story ever told. Somewhere far along this road, he lost his soul to a woman so heartless. How could you be so heartless? Oh, how could you be so heartless? How could you be
All right, the 808s. TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Let's go to the BCSI hotline right now, joined by my buddy Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South. He always jams with the music when he's on the show. Good morning to you.
You know, actually, last night I just watched the first 2 episodes of the Netflix doc, This Is Pop, and I just watched the episode on auto-tune.
Oh, is
and
that
it's
right?
all about, like, T-Pain and stuff, and so Heartless, you know, 808 was a subject of it, and how like T-Pain kind of got Kanye introduced to it. So I was like getting some Heartless vibes again. It takes me back to like freshman year of college. That's a that's a throwback machine for me.
Yeah, I was in my 30s. Thanks for making me feel real old. Appreciate that, Connor. Hey, so I tried to explain your column this morning, but I think I did a disservice to your great writing there when you're talking about the cupcakes that the SEC teams play, and your explanation. You went deep into the numbers. You looked at the Big Ten. You looked at everybody else and kind of massaged it and helped us understand why it's really not that big of a deal. Kind of give us your perspective here this morning.
Yeah, so what I basically like looking at is, okay, the whole point of other conferences that bring this up and why Cupcake Week is just the SEC trying to get a pass, is trying to say that they don't have this path to the college football playoff that others do, right? Like, that's the whole point. You schedule this game in late November, but if you actually break it down based on the amount of Power 5 teams in the top 25 that you've had to play, that you've had to get through, like the Big Ten has this advantage by, I think, 0.29 top 25 teams on average that they have faced more than, an SEC team. So in terms of like the road to get to this point, it's the same thing. And the Big Ten likes to puff its chest out and say, we play this 9-game conference schedule, when the Big Ten was playing an 8-game conference schedule and then it switched to a 9-game conference schedule. Why? Because they wanted a more attractive home package. They wanted to be able to sell to their fans, we're going to give you that one more marquee home game. And what they did was they shot themselves in the foot, and they watched their conference champion not get to the college football playoff 3 consecutive years after doing that. That wasn't a coincidence. The SEC has had the best formula for this entire deal. They still have a gauntlet. And you know what? If Cupcake Week is the secret to going and winning 11, 15 national championships, I don't know, maybe other conferences should be doing it. That's just my thoughts.
Well, the Big 12 seems to have a lot of cupcakes, Texas being one of those, for some teams out there. Kansas is able to get fat taking on Texas.
And good for those Kansas players. I see the guy getting the NIL deal with Applebee's. I mean, we need a sacrificial lamb in college football. Why can't Texas be that? And they give Arkansas this great moment early in the season, and not take away from the Arkansas accomplishment, because, I mean, Arkansas they wiped the floor with them. That wasn't just like some 7-point game or something like that. But Texas needs these moments to prop other programs up. They're really nice. They do it to programs like BYU, or they do it to Maryland. Whatever they could do to kind of help out these up and coming teams, make them feel like they're on that level, and just remind everyone that anything is possible. And resources, it doesn't buy you everything. It certainly doesn't buy you wins in non-conference play. Texas it doesn't buy you wins in conference play either, just because Kansas just proved that. Texas is doing the Lord's work right now by continuing to lose these games that they should be winning.
Oh, that smoke's coming your way on social media here in a little bit, Connor. Hey, I saw that you gave some love to our guy, Antonio Johnson. He is a guy, I think you used the term Swiss Army knife in the column there. He really does it all. And we have an Ananias Smith on the offensive side that does that. But on the defensive side, it has certainly been Antonio Johnson.
I love the way that Mike Elko uses him. He will use him. He'll line him up in the line of scrimmage. He'll play them kind of in that nickel spot. He's not afraid to send him on blitzes. There's always that conversation in basketball about like the non-dunk, the great almost dunk that happens or something like that. And a lot of people like to bring that up with certain people. When I think of Antonio Johnson, I think of that play where he was rushing off. It would have been Bo Nix's blind side, and he was coming off the blind side, and it looked like he was going to take his head off, but the play was whistled dead. And Gary Danielson even said something on the broadcast about it, of like, I think Antonio Johnson was going to take Bo Nix's head off. And I was like, I had the exact same thought. That's the type of thing that he is capable of, and he can do so many different things for defense. What a revelation he has been, kind of filling in that all hands on deck type of role for that group. And I know they're going to lose so many guys to the NFL next year, but I was trying to think of the guys in the SEC coming back on the defensive side who I would say, yeah, they're probably better than Antonio Johnson. And I came up with 2. It's Will Anderson, it's Jalen Carter. And then other than that, and that's just among the guys we know aren't draft eligible yet. We'll kind of wait and see who takes advantage of the extra year of eligibility that 2020 granted. But guy's just been a machine, and he's been so good. And I hope to be able to see him in another year and what he can do before he ultimately heads off to the NFL and makes a lot of money.
Connor O'Gara here on the VCSI Hotline. Connor, it's been a year where a lot of expectations for A&M, setbacks with injuries and a couple losses, then a high after Alabama, Auburn, great week, and then last week, obviously a tough one on the road. How do you categorize this year for the Aggies so far?
Very up and down, man. And I'm a victim of this. I was high on him coming into the year, and then I came on these airwaves and I talked about how disappointing it is to see Jimbo Fisher get paid all that money and to not have an answer for this offensively. And then I still like the things that they do defensively. I mean, that's been really a constant for most of the year. And I do think it's easily the best defense that Jimbo Fisher has had there during his time in College Station. But yeah, this is a team that has a definitely a high ceiling, and we've seen that at times. We saw that against Alabama, but at the same time, when you don't have the quarterback situation figured out the way that you would hope, you have these lows. And we saw it against Mississippi State. That loss looking better now because Mississippi State is apparently just a giant killer, and that's what they're capable of on a given Saturday. But yeah, this is one of those years where I still think you're going to look back and you're going to say, man, what if? We don't know what Haynes King would have been in this offense, and that's probably part of the frustration. But I just liked so many of the pieces, and I love Denia Smith. I love this backfield. I love Weidermeyer. I know he's had his issue with the drops, but I just loved so many of the pieces, and I'll always find myself asking, what if they had just had that answer at quarterback? What if Kellen Mond had taken advantage of the extra year of eligibility and been the starter for this team? What could they have been capable of? Could they have gone to a college football playoff? I'll always just kind of have that in the back of my mind. It's a solid season, but it's definitely a season in which you're going to feel like there were some missed opportunities.
So this could be the last home game for DeMarvin Leal, Isaiah Spiller, Jalen Wademeyer, and Kenyon Green. What kind of impact do you expect them to have at the next level?
I mean, DeMarvin Leal he's going to be making money in a hurry in the NFL, and he's going to be just totally dominating offensive lines. I firmly believe that. I love watching the guy play. I love the versatility. I hope he goes to the right place, and I hope that he goes to a system that's going to allow him to be able to utilize that versatile skill set that he has. If he's lining up inside, he's lining up outside. I just hope he goes to a defensive mind who understands how versatile he is and how he's not one of these guys that, you just kind of bring him in as a pass rusher here or there. Like, play that guy every down. Just do it. That is what he is capable of. And I think PV has shown that as well. I've loved watching this entire defensive line. I think that they're so special, and it's a shame that they're not going to get that national stage, that college football playoff stage, because really they're going to stack up better than a lot of these teams that are in the playoff field. I firmly believe that. And we'll look back probably maybe 5 years from now. It'll be one of those teams that we look back on, and to a lesser degree because it's trenches play, but we look back on the Alabama receivers, right? And we say, wow, what a great collection of talent that was there at one time. And what great options Tua Tagovailoa had to throw the ball to. And we're going to look back, I think maybe 5-6 years, seeing these guys, seeing PV, seeing Clements, seeing Leal dominate in the NFL. And we're going to say, wow, those guys were all on the same team at one time. How did they not win an SEC championship together or something like that? But they're all so ready for the NFL. And I think it won't be very long before everybody else is realizing that.
Connor, obviously Jimbo's off the chessboard. You have Mel Tucker off for LSU. So who do you think is going to end up being the head coach at LSU next season?
Yeah, let's go with Dave Aranda this week. I don't know, man. It's all over the place. It really is. And I've been wrong about this. I've said from the jump that Lane would be the guy that I would go after. I would tend to say that Lane's going to stay in Oxford if I'm guessing at this point. And I don't think Lane's going to Miami because I don't think it's 2001 anymore. And a lot of people on Twitter still don't realize that, but that's their problem, not mine. I think that you're trying to figure out for LSU what the vision is what's the balance between splashy hire and right hire? Because everybody knows, and y'all know it as well as anyone, Scott Woodward, he doesn't care about rejection, right? He's not the guy who's concerned if Lincoln Riley turns down a $12 million a year offer. But finding the right hire is the key for the next decade of LSU football. And is that Dave Aranda? Is that a guy who had a lot of success there? And is it somebody who is going to know how to recruit in the area, understands the brass, understands the fan base and all those different things? I would tend to say that he'd be the favorite in the clubhouse. Is Billy Napier a splashy enough hire? I think that's kind of a weird question, but at the same time, I think it's one that's worth keeping in mind because Scott Woodward at his alma mater, right? This is the Baton Rouge native. Is he really going to go to the in-state group of 5 school to make his big time statement hire? My guess is no, and that's not a slight to Billy Napier, but that's just the nature of the beast and trying to look at context clues of the way that he's gone about his business in the past. So if I had to bet on someone today, I'd go with Dave Aranda, but I've just been wrong with this at so many different turns that my word is probably not very good.
Connor, do you think Dan Mullen's going to make it?
No. 52 points to Samford, man. I was there a few weeks ago in Jacksonville and watched that Georgia team in the way that it just took over that football game. And now we hear the leaked audio of what Kirby Smart was saying to that team at halftime when it's 24-0. Dan Mullen, it just is not that guy. He's not. And the more you hear about it from people within the program, the people that I've talked to who have said, look, this has been a slow build. And it's been basically, it dates back to since the Black Lives Matter protests happened, and how that team did not respond to what Dan Mullen was trying to, the message that he was trying to preach to them. And there was a divide. And, you know, your eyebrows are kind of raised when an assistant like Brian Johnson, who has been Dan Mullen's right-hand guy, I mean, played for him at Utah, when Brian Johnson leaves as the first Black offensive coordinator in Florida football history to go take the quarterback's job with the Philadelphia Eagles after 1 year. You're just kind of like, what? People don't like working for Dan Mullen. And I think that's what it comes down to. I do think that Florida makes a change at season's end, a $12 million buyout. It's affordable. And I think there's enough momentum within that program right now, especially after seeing Samford put up 52 points in the Swamp. I think Mizzou wins this weekend. I think it just is the beginning of the end for Dan Mullen in Gainesville.
All right, this is a dumb question, but I'm going to ask it where we are today. With all the information we have seen, can Stetson Bennett beat Alabama, and conversely, can Bama beat this Georgia defense?
Oh, that's a great two-part question. I like that.
Thank you.
Stetson Bennett can beat Alabama.
Okay.
He can, because he's playing differently than he did last year. PFF had the numbers. He's the most accurate downfield passer in college football right now. That's passes over 20 yards. When they take those chances downfield, it's there. And he's not afraid to. You can go back to specific instances where it's 4th and 5 against Mizzou, and he's taken a 40-yard shot to the end zone. That's how confident he is at this point in Todd Monken's offense. That's the biggest difference between Stetson Bennett now versus Stetson Bennett when he played against Alabama last year. He has developed as a downfield passer. His rapport with these young receivers, the Brock Bowers, the Ladd McConkeys of the world, who have all of a sudden become stars for Georgia, despite the fact that all these guys we were talking about in the preseason, you know, George Pickens and Eric Gilbert, Darnell Washington, Kearis Jackson even, these guys who really haven't done a whole lot for this team yet, but Stetson Bennett is on the same page with those guys, and it's a little bit reminiscent of a 2015 Jake Coker, a guy who in Lane Kiffin's system was able to do exactly what he needed to do. And with all eyes focused on Derrick Henry, Jake Coker was capable of winning games for him. He won that playoff game for them against Michigan State, albeit a very dominant one, but they continued to go over the top. And I think Stetson Bennett is capable of being that guy for Georgia. I wouldn't have told you that 2 months ago. I'm fully on board with it. I think they beat Alabama. I do. I think Georgia is the best team in college football. I don't think it's particularly close. I think they win that game on a neutral site. And I don't want to hear about Kirby having these late game issues against Saban. That's going to be in the back of minds of many college football fans going into that one. But yeah, give me Kirby, give me this Georgia team. They are the force in college football right now. And I think they're heads and shoulders above the competition.
That is Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South. Connor, thanks, man. We'll talk to you very soon.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, take care. Connor O'Gara there, Saturday Down South on the BCSI hotline. When we come back here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Logan Lee talking some hoops with us. We'll have that and more here on the program. But right now, a moment for the Association of Former Students. Love what they do for us and what they do for the Aggie community, no doubt about that. They are the oldest organization serving that A&M network, without a doubt, over 140 years. They just give. But they can't give without you. That is what they do, and you help them make it happen, right? There's no doubt about that, and you can do it as simple as becoming a Century Club member. Not expensive. You heard me talk about it for years. I kind of lost touch. I'm back in. I'm all in. Circle of Trust, just like Robert De Niro. $100 a year, $9 a month. You're going to get the decal, the plaque, and the Texas Aggie magazine. Plus, you're continuing in the oldest, most inspiring tradition of Aggies helping other Aggies. To learn more about the impact of the association, to make a gift or get involved, visit aggienetwork.com/giving.
Listen in to the Louis Bellina Show, weekdays from 11 to 2 here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Zone.
Shop local, buy local, save big deals.
It's not every day you can save money. Oh, wait, you can. Hi, Jenny here from Big Deals. When you shop Big Deals, you'll save money every day on dozens of gift certificates from local businesses like these.
C&J Barbecue, Aggieland Express Car Wash, Mineral Body Works, awards, and more, and more. Visit AggielandBigDeals.com to save big. AggielandBigDeals.com.
The end of the tax year is near, so if you need maintenance or replacement parts for your construction equipment, WPI has you covered. Regardless of your machine's make or model, WPI can help. From custom hydraulic hoses, O-rings, and depth to teeth, buckets, and blades. Any part, filter, fluid, battery, or lighting for every brand of equipment is at your local WPI. Visit Jesse James at WPI's new location in Bryan, Highway 21 East at Marino Road, or click WPI.com.
At Social Security, we are always thinking of ways to save you time and make things easier. That's why we created My Social Security. Opening a My Social Security account gives you secure access to your personal record and interactive tools tailored for you. You can see if you are eligible to receive benefits, view spousal benefit estimates, and compare retirement benefit estimates at different ages or dates when you want to start receiving benefits. Already receiving benefits? Use your account to change your address, set up or change direct deposit, get a proof of income letter, and more. In most states, you can also request a replacement Social Security card. Save time. Go online. Open a My Social Security account at ssa.gov/myaccount. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
In McVay's time with Stafford, they must win a Super Bowl, yes. I don't say they have to do it this year. They have to win a playoff game this year for sure. Got to win a playoff game.
But if they just win a playoff game, you'll probably consider them still to be a failure, right? One playoff game, they got one playoff win. I think they have to win.
I agree with Max. At some point, while they together in the next 3 years, they got to win a Super Bowl.
They have to win the Super Bowl this year. There's no doubt about that.
And until then, I would say to not say it's a disappointing season this year, 2 playoff wins.
Yeah, okay.
But you got to win one. You got to win one, or it's like, yo, you couldn't win a playoff game?
Get to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl with them because they went with Jared Goff. And they didn't win, but at least they went. So Matthew Stafford's got to do a lot of the same stuff that Jared Goff did, but the cherry on top is winning the Super Bowl.
Spend your mornings with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor. Mornings from 5 to 8 here on The Zone.
Somebody has it low there. You can I would see that. No, that's camera. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Logan Lee in the house. Good morning to you, buddy.
What's going on?
So, yeah, I apologize. I'm going to say it out loud. I mean, like I had a meeting with you about scheduling. Like, not really a meeting, but we're at the game against HBU, and
that was a pretty good meeting.
It was a good meeting. We spoke. You know, hey, can you do the show on these days? Can we do this? And how about this time?
And we got everything situated.
And then 9 minutes later, I'm driving, speak to Tex. Oh no, I double booked. Logan, no! Can you do this time? I guess. 5 seconds later, actually, that doesn't work either. So here you are.
Yeah, man. I'm here for you.
Well,
I am here to support you.
I apologize that I had to switch it up. So let's talk about what we've seen from this Aggie basketball team so far. I'll start it off. Defense. That's pretty much what I've seen.
I've seen improvement.
Yeah.
I think each game that they've played better at both ends of the court. I think their offense struggled in the beginning, the first couple of games. They've gotten better, and maybe it's because the competition wasn't as good. Abilene Christian is actually a pretty good team, or a decent team. They'll probably win their conference, make it to the tournament.
Yep.
And so that was probably their hardest game so far. But I think they've done what they've needed to do so far. no one thought that they were going to come in here and just be dominating people from day one. I think everybody thought it was going to be a learning process. There's going to be a learning curve, and that's what it's been so far. But they've won games. They've handled their opponents, and they've done what they needed to do to get better. That's all you can ask for at this point, especially with 9 new guys and Buzz not being not coaching for the first 2 games. Right. I mean, there are a lot of factors that play into it. So yeah, I think they're on track. They have a better trajectory than I thought they were going to have at this point, and that's a good sign.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So I'm going to use this comparison. The basketball team, in the few games that I've been able to catch time, reminds me of the football team in this respect. They wear you down, and then they find their way to come away with a big lead later. So football team, run, get to the fourth quarter. That's where we see the separation. Against HBU, the game was maybe a little tighter than I expected, although they were in control. And then in the second half, I mean, they only gave up 39 points in that game. But it was, the first half was like, well, but HBU can go on a run and be right in it.
Like 25 of those were in the first half or something like that. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. They're a team that they need to find their opponent's breaking point. And whether that is 20 minutes into the game and then the second half they dominate, or if that is 15 minutes into the game and then they dominate from there, or if they have to go all the way to 38 minutes, or in Abilene Christian's case, a double overtime, and the last 2 minutes of the second overtime is when they wore them down. That's what they're going to have to do. And I mean, it was no different when I was playing with Gillespie. Mm-hmm. We had to find other teams' breaking points in the first 2 years. We weren't as talented as everybody else in the Big 12. And so we had to wear people down, and that came with defense. That came with rebounding. Buzz's team this year has struggled with rebounding, but I thought they did a much better job against HBU, and HBU is not a good team. But, you know, when you don't play good teams, you have to dominate, and you have to show that you know what you're doing, and that's exactly what they did. I would have been much more worried had HBU stuck around the entire game and they were just kind of playing with them and letting them stay close, and they didn't do what they did. But because they did dominate, they did what they were supposed to do. It puts them in a better spot, both mentally and in preparation for the Maui Invitational.
Aaron Cash had himself a little game. Double-double, 16 minutes. What have you seen from him?
You know, to be honest, I was really down on him before the season even started. Watching practice and talking to a couple of people, he struggled. You know, he came from the junior college ranks, and you look at his shooting percentage. He was a 40+% 3-point shooter, and so everybody thought, hey, this A&M team is getting a shooter from the outside.
Right.
That's not what he is.
He's not.
He's a big body. He is strong. He's physical. And when he gets his hands on a basketball, no one's taking it from him. And that's why he's been able to grab so many rebounds. He's come in, and while he's only 6'5", 6'6", I think he could be a good backup 4-man option for this team because he's physical and he has that determination to go get the ball.
It's funny, these guys, I had a perception of what I thought they were going to look like.
Yep.
And then I saw them on TV, but seeing them in person, some of them are not as big as I thought, and they fit Buzz though, in that they're grinders. Yep. Like all of them are.
Every single one of them. You look at Tyrese Radford. I thought he had probably an extra 3 inches on him before I actually saw him on the court.
Right.
It's like, God, he looks small, but he plays big.
Yes,
he plays really big. Henry Coleman, I thought he was going to have an extra 2 inches. He's a 4-man. That a 4-man all the way. He is not a 5. He is more towards a 3 because he can play on the perimeter. He can guard a little on the perimeter. That's a little impressive for just his stature. I mean, he is a specimen. When you look at him and you see him walk on the court, you want him to be the first off the bus. Like that's who he is. But you know, Javonte Brown, he's long. He looks the part, but he's raw. I didn't understand how raw he was as a player. I think he will be good, and Buzz and his staff need to coach him up because he can be talented. he's just out there right now, though, and he's trying to figure it out.
So I'm looking forward to the Maui Classic for a couple reasons. A, the talent that they're going to be taking on is going to be a step up. And, Wisconsin on that Monday. And then whatever happens in that next game, it'll either be Butler or the University of Houston. Again, some programs with a little history that have been playing well.
Absolutely. Wisconsin's going to be a tough one. Wisconsin has played good, and they grind it out too. So that's going to be a battle of the wills, and who can outlast who in that one. Depending on what happens, obviously it's Butler or Houston. Both of those teams are going to pose problems for A&M. This could be a tournament where they go 1-2. It could be a tournament where they go 2-1. I don't see them winning all 3 games, but with the way that Buzz has them going, they could squeak out 3 wins.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they could lose the first 2 games and then face Chaminade or most likely Chaminade,
right,
and then win 1. Who knows? Like this team is nowhere near the finish line. They have a lot of growing, a lot of developing, and a lot of building on this core foundation that they have.
All sports go through this, but really in basketball, that chemistry takes time. It's not like, you just go out yes, NBA players like to make it look like you just get out on the court and you go hoop, but there goes way more into that, knowing where to be, knowing your spots, knowing where your teammates like the ball. I mean, there's so much. And then understanding what Buzz is commanding. And he's hard on those players during the game. I'm watching him. So there's a lot that they're processing for being UBs.
Yeah, they're going through the gauntlet right now. Not only did they have to go through boot camp and the tough workouts, preseason workouts, then they have 3 games in 5 days, and now they get a little break where Buzz and his staff are probably going to mentally prepare them on the first 2 days after that last game, but then they're going to get after it because I think they have 6 days off before their game. So they'll probably those 2 days in between, they're going to work them really hard.
Yep.
And then they've got to get ready for Wisconsin. They're physical, so they're going to be sore after that. They're going to have to follow it up with a game against Butler or Houston, and then the next day. So they're going to play 3 games in a row after that. So it's going to be a tough little stint, 2-week stint for this Aggie program.
Thank you, Logan.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate you, man. Right now, talk about Heritage Films. My buddy Chance McClain, they make documentary films about you, your father, your grandfather, maybe your basketball coach. Like, that would be a good documentary. Buzz should call up Chance and get one done for him. That'd be an awesome one, right? Like, find out how we got here, right? And that's what they do. And they do it like A&E. They do it like Biography. I think they got a channel, right? Or maybe Biography's on A&E. Netflix, wherever you watch your documentaries, YouTube, whatever. Chance does it, and he probably does it better because he's just so creative. He's got the staff out there, and it's a long process, 8 to 10 weeks to get this documentary done. But he's going to do it, and you're going to be like, dude, James Cameron made my documentary. But his name is Chance McClain, and the name of the company is Heritage Films. Go check out yourheritagefilm.com, yourheritagefilm.com, 713-893-8341, 713-893-8341.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. Do you need help with a Thanksgiving meal? Go online to uwbv.org/holiday assistance. It's the 38th annual Thanksgiving in the Brazos Valley, delivering free meals on Thanksgiving Day. Hospice Brazos Valley is offering 3 groups dedicated to assist adults grieving a loss. There is no cost to attend, but RSVP is required. Call 979-821-2266. There is a free class offered to seniors on healthy aging the first Wednesday of every month. Contact the Mature Well Lifestyle Club for more information. Support the Sexual Assault Resource Center through their Be a Light campaign by making a donation at sarcbv.org. Submit your nonprofit event by email to news@WTAW.com. Listen to your favorite shows, TexAgs, Louis Bellina, Chip, and Paul Feinbaum. Listen to your favorite teams, Texas A&M football, basketball, and baseball. Listen to them online at radioaggieland.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Maroon U is your ultimate stop for brand name apparel, gifts, and accessories for the entire family. From Columbia, 47 brand, Yeti, Dooney & Burke, and Adidas. We're able to outfit you for every occasion. Visit Maroon U and our family of companies on Holloman Drive in College Station to shop the latest in brand name Aggie merchandise. Shop Maroon U today. Voted best in the Brazos, best gift shop since 2016. Maroon never looked so good with Maroon U.
Aggie football is here, and Texas A&M Transportation Services offers parking and shuttle options. Pay $25 cash to park near Bush Library, Bonfire Memorial, or Agronomy Road. Ride the free Downtown Bryan shuttle. For pre- and post-game traffic and parking info, or to purchase parking before the game, visit Destination Aggieland within the TAMU app, download the Park Mobile app, or visit transport.tamu.edu/football.
For those parking with an annual permit, be ready to show us your permit barcode printed on paper or on your smartphone screen. Follow us on Twitter at @GetToAggieGame.
The flagship station for Aggie athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our Aggie broadcast sponsors, Park at Tradition's Exceptional Senior Living, First Financial Bank, and Cooper's Barbecue. Here's a big gig-em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Aggie football game day on The Zone starts 3 hours before kickoff with the Twin Peaks pregame show powered by TexAgs.com. Game day on The Zone is brought to you in part by Higginbotham Insurance, Stephen Gustitis, attorney at law, Tradition, Mobile One Oil and Lube, and Gage Gandy Bail Bonds. After you listen to the Twin Peaks pregame show powered by TexAgs.com, listen to every single Aggie football game right here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
Welcome back to TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. We will get to your text messages on the A&B text line. Spencer in Denver, I see you. We'll also get to the BCS Eye Associates hotline right now because we got to talk to Jamie Mccoy here, the former Texas A&M tight end, who I think, Jamie, are you sporting a Reveille hat? Is that what I see?
Yeah, it's a Reveille hat. I guess y'all can see me. I can't see y'all right now.
Man, I like that hat. That's what's up. Logan saw it. He's like, I think that's Reveille. It looks like Reveille.
Yeah, it is.
That's what's up. Hey, man, so let's talk a little bit about what we have seen this season. It has been a season of ups and downs, more ups and downs, but a couple downs with teams that spread you out. Just your thoughts on how things have played out so far for A&M.
I guess you could say I'm still optimistic. Would have loved for us to get that. You know, we kind of controlled our destiny as far as getting to a solid bowl game if we could win out. But I'm happy with where we're at, especially with the fact that we've pretty much gone through the whole season with a backup quarterback. The defense is finding itself, and all of our young guys seem to be buying in and fitting into the culture.
Yeah, Jamie, so let's talk Jalen Watermeyer for a moment, who is obviously one of the best tight ends in all of college football, if not the best. Some drops this year, but he has also grown in areas like blocking. What have you seen when you watched him on the tape?
Just kind of like you said, a few growing pains. I mean, his first couple of years, everything just went right. He was right place, right time with Kellen getting the ball in the right spot. And this year, like you said, with the drops, I don't think it's a skill type deal. I think it's just maybe the lack of focus at times during the game. I mean, most times it seems that we're either in a tight situation or we're trying to come back from lead when I see some of the drops. But as far as blocking, I'm blanking on the guy's name that comes in for us as well. But all the tight ends have done a good job blocking and getting the running game going. I honestly wish we would stick to the run more than all the passing we've done. But Watermeyer, he's doing a good job.
Jamie Mccoy on the BCSI hotline. So when you watch him, you think will make him elite?
He's got to command more of himself, especially when you get into the red zone. That's a little money area. And the more touchdowns you can get, the bigger attraction you're going to be for those NFL scouts. I wouldn't say him getting bigger would do anything because he's already a good size. I mean, he's way bigger than Kyle Pitts, and I saw Kyle Pitts making blocks last night. I think just like I said, attention to detail and focus, and when the ball comes your way, making the play. It's okay to have a drop here and there, but, you know, uncontested drops are things you want to steer away from.
One of the things we're talking about this week with Prairie View coming up and SEC week being what they call Cupcake Week, in your games in the past, all right, let's take a look at some of the easier games. How did you guys prepare the starters? And let's also talk about the guys who are going to see some time out there that usually don't.
You prepare the same way. I mean, every week is the nameless great face, and you really want to just focus on yourself and make sure that you're doing all the things that you need to do. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a cupcake week. For me, I think of it more as a get right week. So for us, I would like to see really all three phases. Come out, play tough, do what you're supposed to do. You're the better athletes and the better team. I like to see us dominate in the trenches, catching the ball, and then do well enough that we're able to get some of the young guys in, whether it be the young backs, young receivers, young linebackers, young DBs, give everybody a chance to get their feet wet just in case to build experience going into the future next year.
Jamie, I think everybody has the right intentions, but when you are taking on a team after playing an Ole Miss and knowing LSU is coming up, can some of the guys' minds, maybe, I don't know, just a different attention to detail perhaps?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you got Thanksgiving around the corner. You think this is a get-right game, and you already, okay, let's see. If we can win this and beat LSU, we'll be 9-3. And where you start thinking of bowl games, and your mind gets to wandering, and families around. It's just one of those weeks where you got to stay focused. And really, Jimbo is a great coach. I know that he's going to be steadfast on that as far as not counting the eggs before they hatch. You know what I mean? Right. Just staying focused, stay attention to detail, and do the things the right way.
And how about the backups who don't normally get a lot of looks and they come in at the end of a huge blowout? Potentially that's going to be the case here. But maybe we'll see some of these guys coming in early in the third quarter as opposed to the last 5 minutes of the fourth.
Yeah. Well, with those guys, really it's a matter of being ready for your opportunity. You may not get all the looks and chances to play in these big-time games, whether it be your Ole Miss, LSU, or whatever, but my advice to the younger guys would be know your assignment, know your alignment, and when you get out there, be ready to make a play. Not all times are you going to get the ball thrown your way or be afforded the opportunity to carry the ball, but be ready for the chance. Expect the ball. When you leave the huddle, say, hey, this pass is coming to me. If you expect it, I think you're more inclined to be ready to make the most of the opportunity when it comes your way.
Jamie, how far do you think A&M is away from being a Georgia or an Alabama level team? We thought this year could have been that year, but some things didn't work out, obviously with the injury to Haynes and some of the other injuries.
I would say we're really, really dang close. And the reason I say that is, like I said earlier, not only were we going through this season with essentially the backup quarterback and a lot of young guys, but this is the time where we've got to be ready to, we've got to be ready to take the next step as far as dominating every time we're on television. I hate the fact that Arkansas was a good team. They beat us outright. But the Mississippi State game, I think we weren't focused and we came out flat. And then Ole Miss, we just didn't do the things that we needed to. I know that we're close to being really good, though, because we're running into those problems that these good teams have where you got so much talent and so much depth that it's getting hard. Dang, if so-and-so doesn't get in here or doesn't play, stay around, are they going to enter the portal? When you start getting into that world, you know that you're a really good team as far as there's competition everywhere and guys want to play. And sometimes you might not get the opportunity and you know that you got to leave. So I know we're good because we're there and we got talent. We just got to make the most of it and really find out our identity of who we want to be as a team.
And you say talent that's leaving for the NFL, but Jimbo's putting together a monster recruiting class, potentially top 3, maybe even number 1 when it's all said and done. All signs are pointing that the talent, we're just beginning to get that great 5, where like 4 stars are at the end of the list. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where they're getting at.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And you love to see it. I mean, who would have thought we'd be getting the number 1 defensive player, but I think a lot of these young guys and these recruits are watching the screen. They see it's you can kind of almost feel it and see it. It's tangible what Jimbo's doing here at A&M. And with all these young guys buying in and recruiting the way that they have, as far as the Williams kid, the safety, who's going out of his way to try to get more people bought in. I mean, I think the sky's the limit. We're there. We just got to capitalize and do the things that those great teams do every week. week in, week out.
Jamie, let's talk a little bit about Thanksgiving. And, now the games are typically on that Saturday after Thanksgiving. But during your day, I believe you guys actually played on Thanksgiving quite a bit. What are your memories of that?
Man, it was fun. Great memories looking back. I remember we couldn't do the bonfire and things like that, but we do team bonding type stuff, some little, not an actual bonfire, but stuff was burned. I remember those days. I remember really, you really didn't have a Thanksgiving. You'd have a team meal with the guys on the team, whether you were in the hotel or whatever, and going out and playing the game. I think, possibly contend with the Cowboys being on Thanksgiving and whatnot. I love to see us go back to those terms.
Well, yeah, and I don't know if you're paying attention to what's happening in Austin. I'm like, bring that game on now, baby. I want to see that.
Oh yeah, you can't be not paying attention to what's going on in Austin. I mean, you rubbernecking. It's like the wreck that you just got to see what happened. And I'm loving it. I love to get in there and swing with them next year, but the sooner the better, I guess, in that case.
Do you remember, just out of curiosity, did you play all your years on Thanksgiving, or was it sometimes the Friday after? I'm trying to remember that time in Aggie history.
I know a couple of them were on Thanksgiving, but I know I had one or two the day after.
Okay.
But either way, they all were filled with great memories. I still remember the 12-7, then we came back 38-30 and won at home. And whether it's a day game or a night game, it really doesn't matter. Just the fact that outside of you and the team being there at whatever stadium, wherever venue you're playing at, that everybody in America is at home. Everybody's off of work. They're at home on the couch eating turkey, doing what that leftovers and whatnot, and they're all focused on you. So it's a cool feeling to be a college kid knowing that, hey, it's almost like NBA or NFL Monday night. Like, all eyes in the country are on us, so we got to perform.
Jamie, we appreciate it, my friend. Thanks so much. We'll catch up with you, and happy Thanksgiving.
No problem, Nunio. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys.
All right, my friend. Thank you very, very much. I always love catching up with Mr. McCoy here on the BCSI hotline right now. Milliken Reserve. Love that community, guys. It's in College Station. They got homes, they got trails, they got farms, they got wide open spaces. They want to build a healthy community around nature. And look, I like being healthy. Sorry, I do. I like the whole outside living kind of thing. I love veggies, and that's where I go for our veggies, right? Wife went the other day. Really, we live in South College Station. It takes like 5 minutes to get there. In and out, get our veggies fresh. It is so, so good. In that area, when you drive by, you're going to be like, man, I want to live here. 2,600 acres of open space, farms, 30 miles of trails, and homes. They're dedicated to the conservation and the healthy community out there, and they love that native landscape and that wildlife. If you're into hiking, biking, canoeing, kayaking, equestrian trails, evening yoga, summer camps, music festivals, farmers markets, and farm tours, you can do that, and you can visit it all at Milliken Reserve. MillikenReserve.com is the website. Go check them out, MillikenReserve.com.
Your home for the Houston Texans is Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. This is The Zone.
Does your bank know your first name? At Normandy State Bank, they do. Normandy State Bank is locally owned, controlled, and operated. This local personal touch means banking decisions are made on site the same day you request it. Normandy State makes banking easy. They're open Saturdays, offer state-of-the-art online banking, bill paying, fund transfers, check and statement images. Normandy State, where customer service is their priority. Normandy State Bank, rock solid. Member FDIC.
Holiday sparkle starts at Montelongo's Fine Jewelry. The Montelongo's Fine Jewelry family has been helping people select the perfect gift for over 30 years, and they want to be your jeweler this holiday season. Let Montelongo's help you find a dazzling gift from their incredible selection that's in stock and ready to be wrapped. Decide joy. Decide to give. Decide Montelongo's. Bring home a little sparkle with a gift from Montelongo's Fine Jewelry that's sure to make your loved one's Christmas shine. Visit their showroom on University Drive, and Merry Christmas from the Montelongo family to yours.
Want to learn a new language so it will actually stick? Try Babbel. Practice real-life conversations in the Babbel app.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
Get personalized help in Babbel's live online classes.
Classes are limited to 6 people, so everyone can get the help they need.
Review words and phrases with fun games, or dive into the culture with short videos. Whatever your learning style, Babbel gives you the tools you need. Babbel, more ways to learn. Now try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
The flagship station for Aggie athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our Aggie broadcast sponsors, Schulte Roofing, Prosperity Bank, Hargrove Insurance, and Rudy's Barbecue. Here's a big gig 'em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on the Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
The Liucci Hour Happy Hour is a must part of any Aggie football season. Join Billy Liucci of TexAgs and Zach Taylor, the Infomaniac, every Monday and Thursday at 6 at the Tap, or listen in right here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Liucci Hour Happy Hour every Monday, Thursday at 6 is brought to you by King Ranch Saddle Shop. Also brought to you in part by B&B Automotive. It's the Liucci Hour Happy Hour.
Listening to The Zone on your Amazon Daughter Echo is easy. Even Louie figured it out. 2 simple steps, and you can hear Chip Howard Sports Talk, TexAgs Radio, The Louie Bellina Show, and many of your favorite A&M teams anytime, anywhere with your special friend, Alexa. Step 1, and only one time, say, Alexa, enable Zone 1150 skill. Then anytime you want to hear your favorite host or teams, all you have to do is say, Alexa, play Zone 1150. Make sure to set it all up and say, Alexa, enable Zone 1150 skill, and listen in anytime just by saying, Alexa, play Zone 1150.
All right, guys, time for Around Aggieland, which means Bruno Mars has got to play because Richard Sane requested.
Huge Bruno Mars fan.
I know. You
like, he's like the next Michael Jackson, right? They say he's like the best performer ever.
Next Prince for Michael Jackson, sure.
Both, like a mixture.
I like him.
Those are 2 good musicians.
Yeah, I like them.
Bruno Mars is just all of them rolled into one.
Into one. By the way, this is presented by
Normandy State Bank.
And they are Normandy State Bank, which is rock solid
banking.
The website is normandystatebank.com. Gosh, we're so good. We're in sync. See that?
Look at that.
Look at that. Little pound. We're such dorks. So what do we have going on here in beautiful Aggieland?
Okay, I'm going to start with the best thing that happened this week. It was actually yesterday over at the Hildebrand Equine Complex. Number 4, Texas A&M taking down number 2, Auburn, 10-6. Remain undefeated in SEC play. The Aggies have now won 5 straight meets. They are on an absolute tear. They're 6-1 on the year, 3-0 in the SEC. Caitlin Loving-Foss was named the most outstanding performer in fences. Taylor Mason earned most outstanding performer honors in reining. And Mackenzie Chapman, now 6-0 on the season in horsemanship. They're off for a couple weeks. The fall slate's over. They'll be back on January the 9th when they host Baylor right here in Aggieland. Moving on, football's got their final home game of the year tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. kickoff against Prairie View A&M at Kyle Field. I want to remind you that this game will not be televised on cable. To watch, you're going to need to have the SEC Network Plus, which is available to you if you log in with your cable provider credentials, log in, all of that.
Is that also on ESPN
It's
Plus?
also on ESPN Plus, which is a paid subscription service. So that's how you're going to have to tune in to watch the Aggies play the Panthers tomorrow. This week, Michael Clemens, Aaron Hansford, and Leon O'Neal Jr. picked up invites to the Reese's Senior Bowl. That'll take place beginning February the 5th in Mobile, Alabama. Also on Thursday, Isaiah Spiller named a semifinalist for the 2021 Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award, so congrats to Isaiah. On the hardwood, Texas A&M men's basketball defeated Houston Baptist 73-39 on Wednesday afternoon. A 22-0 run to open the second half, David.
Yeah, it was. I told Logan this, and I don't mean it to be like it wasn't a close game at the half, but it was a game at the half.
They were up 14 points at the half, right? And then
they were comfortable.
It was over.
Done.
The first 9 minutes of the half, 22-0. It was incredible. Aaron Cash finished with a double-double, 12 points, 10 rebounds. Tyrese Radford and Quentin Jackson, 13 points each. The Aggies will travel to Las Vegas to play in the Maui Invitational, which is not in Maui.
It's in Vegas.
It begins on Monday. They'll face Wisconsin 1 o'clock Central Time on ESPN2. On the women's side of things, they're also 4-0. The number 24 Aggies defeated DePaul on Monday, 95-75. Jordan Nixon, 25 points. Kayla Wills, 21 points. 12 Aggies saw the court in that one. And then on Thursday, Gary Blair hosted his former team, Stephen F. Austin, at Reed Arena. The Aggies won that one 82-75. Kayla Wells, 24 points in that one. Gadasha Hoppy had 16. Destiny Pitts had 15. And Gary Blair also hosted a ton of his former SFA Lady Jacks players at Reed Arena. And there was actually a pretty good picture of him on Texas A&M women's basketball Twitter account this week.
Oh,
I've got it right here for you. Like it is vintage Gary Blair.
Oh, look at that.
I've included it in the story for everybody to check out. It was pretty sick. Of course, he was the head coach in Nacogdoches from 85 to 93.
That's right.
Moving on, to wrap up women's basketball, they're playing in Paradise Jam this week in the U.S. Virgin Islands. They'll face Pitt, South Dakota, and Northwestern beginning Thursday, Thanksgiving Day game. How about that? Men's golf, Sam Bennett receiving an exemption to the Dubai Desert Classic. That'll be played in January 27th through the 30th at the Emirates Golf Club. Swimming and diving is competing in the Art Adamson Invitational. That'll wrap up today. Prelims began 9:30 this morning. The finals will begin at 5:30 this evening. All of it can be found on SEC Network Plus, so you can stream that. On Wednesday night, volleyball got swept by Arkansas at home. Morgan Christian had a team-high 14 kills. The Aggies will look to get back in the win column on Sunday afternoon. They'll face LSU in Baton Rouge, 1 o'clock first serve, streaming on the SEC Network Plus. And also in the news this week, Texas A&M softball finalized their full schedule. They'll begin their season on February the 11th. They'll host Western Kentucky, A&M Corpus Christi, and UT Arlington in the Aggie Classic at Davis Diamond. David,
look at this. We had a full segment to roll, man.
I don't really know. I didn't know what to do with so much time.
It was weird.
I know.
It's all right. So thank you very much, Richard.
Of course.
Appreciate your time.
I'm gonna go look up that Bad Bunny song.
Yeah, I got it right here for you. Maldita pobreza. All right. When we come back, it's the final countdown. Billy will be joining us. You know Billy Liucci. He's a good guy. He's kind of the executive editor, co-owner, blah, blah, blah. And Seth McKinney also in studio. We will talk about all things Aggies, getting ready for Prairie View, and then, of course, LSU. It is TexAgs Radio. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
Our publications reach every corner of the Brazos Valley, and we want to partner with you in sharing your message with the community. You may recognize a few of our Bryan Broadcasting publications.
Best of the Brazos Valley.
Brazos Life, the annual manual.
Welcome home, Brazos Valley.
Brazos Family. Brazos Wellness.
Brazos Valley Bride.
Peace, Brazos Christian Life.
With the combined power of 7 magazine titles, 11 radio stations, and digital solutions, Bryan Broadcasting Publications can help you be heard. Call 979-695-9595 to learn more.
You can hear the Paul Feinbaum Show weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone. Presented by Polaris Fund Center. Paul Feinbaum is SEC Country, and Aggieland is SEC Country too. Join Paul weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone. Polaris Fund Center, where you can get a $500 rebate on any 450 or 570 Model A TV, or $2,000 cash back on a Polaris XP1000. Polaris Fund Center, where they sell and service fun, not tractors. The voice of the SEC, and you can hear Paul Feinbaum weekdays from 2 to 4 on the Zone. Questions, comments, or opinions about anything and everything and all things The Zone. Send your emails to Louie@BryanBroadcasting.com. That's Louie@BryanBroadcasting.com. This is KZNE College Station, Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on The Zone. The number of active coronavirus cases reaches 200 for the first time this month. There's been a steady increase in active cases reported by the health district each day this week. A pandemic death has not been reported since last week. Read more at brazoshealth.org. A correction to the WTAW story about American Lumber's plans to double its manufacturing space in the Bryan Industrial Park. That item was pulled from the city council meeting last week and was not considered or approved. A Bryan City spokesperson tells WTAW News that negotiations are continuing and the deal terms will change from what was in the meeting agenda. Retiring College Station School Board members Amanda Green and Mike Nugent were recognized during this week's board meeting. Nugent, who is stepping down after spending the last year as board president, shared a story about a cancer patient he met who loved to eat out.
She always loved it when the meal was done and there was still a fork there, because it told her that there was more coming, and it was dessert.
Nugent says the woman kept a fork visible in her home to remind her the best is yet to come. Then he gifted the board members forks of their own. The Salvation Army is recruiting volunteers to ring bells at Red Kettles this holiday season. Lieutenant Tim Israel says their goal is to fill 3,000 volunteer hours.
Right now, we've already got about 1,000 hours, so we're still desperately in need of about 2,000 more volunteer hours filled at those Red Kettle locations.
Israel says if a volunteer doesn't man the Red Kettle, the Salvation Army pays someone to do it.
We have to cover those spots so that we can bring in as much money as possible, but we'd much prefer to do that with a volunteer. I mean, the spirit of a volunteer is much better, as well as the income raised is much higher when it's a volunteer at those locations.
Sign up to volunteer online at salvationarmybcs.org. More news is at WTAW.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Hey parents, when it comes to your child's education, there's a lot to consider. No matter what you're searching for, search the Bryan Broadcasting half-price tuition program first. We've partnered with schools and learning centers throughout the area to get your students started with high-quality programs at half price. Right now, we're featuring half-price tuitions at Happy Camper School, Multilingual Academy, Southwood Learning Center, Kitty Castle, and more. Half-price tuitions are first come, first served, and availability is limited. Go to halfpricebrazos.com.
Howdy, y'all. This is Cullen Gillespie, former 12th man. I've always tried to help my team on and off the field, and now I'd like to help Texas A&M fans like you cut their electricity bills in half. Yep, in half. It takes less than 5 minutes and you'll save hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars every year. 90% of Texans overpay for electricity, so don't be one of them. Sign up today at EnergyOgre.com and use code GILLY, Gilly, month of service.